back to the podcast. You are listening to Let It Out with me. I'm your host, Katie Dalebout, and this week's bonus episode is with Anya and Masha. They're the mother-daughter team behind Golubka. They have had this blog where they cook and take the most beautiful photos of food that's really vibrant and delicious. And I have their cookbook, their newest cookbook, in front of me. And I honestly, you guys, I don't even cook. I like flipping through it sometimes, all right? It's weird and it's the way I am. So I loved recording this episode with them so much. We recorded it on a cozy day back here in New York, right before the new year. So I don't know, hopefully you can just feel cozy listening to this while you're walking, while you're driving, and they've had such an interesting life and are just two really interesting people that I hope I get to know more in my life and hang out with more because I genuinely love them so much. And I think it's interesting to have people who you don't often hear speak that often. You might read their blog or create their recipes or read their books, read their interviews on their website. That's one of my favorite things that they do. And you love their design, but maybe you haven't heard their full life story. And that's what this episode does. I hope you love it. And share this episode with a friend who you think would like it. Support us on Patreon. That's a great way to support us. And above all, subscribe. That really helps with the algorithm, with getting more people to listen to the show so I can keep doing it. If you want to create a podcast, email me. I want to help you because this is the most impactful, valuable thing that I've ever done in my career and honestly in my life. I'll talk to you at the end. Thanks for listening. Today's episode is brought to you in part by FreshBooks.com. You know FreshBooks. You love FreshBooks. If you've been listening for a while, you know that I use FreshBooks. I love it. It's the easy-to-use online cloud accounting software. You can personalize the colors and you can even add your logo. It's great for sending invoices. It really makes you look buttoned up, and it's great for tax season. You can even set up FreshBooks to import expenses directly from your bank account. So whenever you purchase something for your business, it instantly uploads it to FreshBooks. I love it, and FreshBooks is ridiculously easy to set up. It's made for people who don't like dealing with numbers and their taxes. Right now, FreshBooks is offering a free 30-day unrestricted trial to our listeners. So to claim it, just go to freshbooks.com/letitout and enter Let It Out in the How Did You Hear About Us section. That's freshbooks.com/letitout and enter Let It Out in the How Did You Hear About Us section. Thank you, FreshBooks. Do you guys know about the brand Third Love? They make bras and underwear designed for the modern woman. When it comes to bra shopping, it's all about finding the right fit for you. And there's only one lingerie brand that offers bras in sizes AA through G and half cup sizes. And of course, that brand is Third Love. They use thousands of real women's measurements to create bras that fit, look, and feel great. To find the bra that you've been waiting for, all you need to do is go to Third Love's website and take their Fit Finder quiz that takes about 60 seconds. And from the comfort of your own home, you can find the bra that's best for you. I hate dressing rooms, and with Third Love, you can try on bras from the comfort of your own home, and returns and exchanges are always free and easy. This year, make the change that will make you change the way you think about bras. Go to thirdlove.com/letitout to find the perfect fitting bra and get 15% off your first purchase. That's thirdlove.com/letitout for 15% off. Thank you, Third Love. Well, thank you guys so much for doing this. I'm so glad we were able to find a time when you were in town and we all got to be here together. And I've been following you guys for years. I was telling Nick on the way over here that I don't know how I found your blog, but I've been following it since I was in college and just wanting all of your recipes all the time. And I just like looking. I don't really cook very often, ever really, especially living here. But I like to just look at your recipes, and that nourishes me in a way. Yeah. And I love your interviews that you do with other people. It's one of my favorite things that you guys do. And anyway, I love the aesthetic of your work and the design of your blog, and I'm excited to meet you guys in person. Thanks, and I'm glad you're as lovely in person as you are on the internet. So thanks for doing this. So, okay, let's have each of you say hi so people know your voices, because sometimes it's hard when there's more than one person that I'm interviewing on the podcast. So we have Anya.
Hi.
And you are the mom in this relationship, and you mostly focus on the recipe development.
Yes.
And then we have Masha.
Hi.
And you mostly focus on the design and the aesthetic of the site?
Yep, I take all the photos and videos sometimes.
Cool. So let's back into it then. How did you guys get started? I know that you were both born in Russia, and then you moved to the States eventually. Tell me everything. Where did you each grow up? What was your childhood like? Were you always into cooking?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me everything.
Well, I actually was born in the Soviet Union.
Okay.
It wasn't Russia at that time yet. Russia was just a part of the big country. I had a very happy childhood. We had lots of food deficits and hardship, but I didn't know any other life. So I, grew up in a very loving family and enjoyed it a lot, enjoyed nature. And
did you have a lot of brothers and sisters?
I have a younger brother.
Okay. Were you cooking and into food in the way you are now growing up? What was your relationship to food and cooking?
I always loved to cook. Thanks to my mom. My mom was always very creative in cooking as well, despite of all the deficits. And when I grew up, the food was, of course, very different. The concept of vegetarianism, or vegan lifestyle, was virtually non-existent at that time, and people probably would just laugh at the idea and think you're just sick for not eating meat.
Yeah.
But when I moved to America, I was blown away by the variety of vegetables in stores and markets. And Masha dislikes meat, always dislikes meat. So finally here I saw the opportunity and possibility to cook vegetables only and plant-based meals.
Yeah. What was the impetus for moving to America, and when did you guys do that?
I moved in 1998. Masha a little later.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so this was the 90s, and it was right after the fall of the Soviet Union in Russia, and it was just a really crazy political time that time, kind of like anarchy in the country, not very safe or steady or stable at all. So that's why Mom decided to move. Something more steady, a safer, calmer, happier life.
And you stayed behind?
Yeah, I stayed behind for a few years, and then I eventually was also able to move.
How old were you?
I was 12 when I moved,
wow.
So 7th grade.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was that hard to be away from each other? It seems like you guys are very close now.
It was incredibly hard. Of course, it was incredibly hard. But when I moved here, I didn't have firm plans. I didn't think that they're going to stay or what they're going to do. But I really fell in love with the country, and I knew that I wanted her here, give her all the opportunity to grow up here instead of Russia, especially at that time.
So you stayed with your father there?
Yeah. My father, I have grandparents. We have a lot of family there. So,
yeah.
And I'm really happy that, because, here, what I do, design, like artistic stuff is totally accepted and fine. I was able to go to college for it, but, in Russia, I don't know what I would be doing now.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Do you guys go back often to visit?
Yes, pretty often. I try to go at least once a year.
Yeah. So when you moved to America, were you in Florida at that time?
Yes.
How did you decide in Florida?
I just knew someone who helped me to, get around, and that's how. Yeah,
to Russians, Florida is like fairy tale land.
Yeah.
Miami.
Yeah, it's so warm. It's like amazing white sand, calm ocean, really warm. It's, it's just so different.
Paradise,
There's a lot of Russians there because people just come there and fall in love. It's like, how is this possible that you can actually live in a place like this?
Yeah. So then you joined your mom in Florida and spent your much older childhood, I guess, and went to high school in Florida. What was that like coming from Russia and then now being in America and that difference?
Yeah. First, when I came over, I was in middle school, which is
rough
really,
anyway.
yeah, just rough time in any case. But yeah, I had a hard time at first with the language and stuff. But also 12 is a really good age to move, I think, because I was able to learn English pretty well, but I also was able to preserve my Russian. Like, I still speak fluently and I can read. I learned to read and write in school, so I didn't miss any of that. So it's kind of like the perfect age.
Best of both worlds.
Yeah.
You keep the culture.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
I still, very Russian, and I definitely grew up there, but at the same time, I was able to learn the language and stuff.
For sure. Was that hard for you with the language? Did you speak English when you moved here?
Not really.
Yeah,
it was definitely hard. It still is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're doing great to me. And then when did you decide, did you always know you wanted to focus on design?
Yeah, I got really lucky. I went to a high school that had a really good art program. So it was a visual arts art program, and it was just amazing. We had really good, passionate teachers, and, we had art shows all the time and all that stuff. So that's when I decided to go to college for design. And, I went to college for fashion design, actually. Got really interested in that. And, I still work a little bit in fashion part-time.
Yeah. So when did you decide that you went to RISD and you studied fashion design there.
Yep.
When did you decide that you wanted to move to New York? I'm assuming for fashion?
Yeah, it's kind of one of the only places in the States to move for a fashion job. So yeah, from RISD, basically everybody who was there for fashion moves to New York, because that's where all the jobs are.
Yeah. What was that?
I also just really love New York always. Yeah.
How come you wanted to move to New York? Why did you love it always?
Yeah, I just always, when we would visit from Florida, it's so different and exciting. And yeah, I just really loved it. And the fact that all the jobs are here, of course.
Yeah. So how long ago was that you moved to?
5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, right after college.
What were kind of your first jobs in fashion, and what was that like?
I started out as an assistant designer, and I fell into sweaters, like knits and sweaters and things like that, and I still do that mostly.
Wow, cool. So you're still doing that?
Yeah, I'm like a part-time fashion designer, but also working on our stuff.
Wow, that's so impressive. I bet that surprises people a lot that you do.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, that's really cool. So, what was the impetus for? How do I say the name of the blog?
Golubka.
Golubka. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted you to say it before me. So, well, first of all, tell us what the name means, because I think it's really beautiful. The devil connection.
It means dove or paloma in Spanish as well, and her younger sister, my youngest daughter, named Paloma as well.
So,
and my maiden name is Golubka, Golub, which means essentially the same. So it's all intersects.
I love the triple meaning. How did you guys come to that?
I think when we started the blog, Paloma was just born.
Okay.
And we had that in our minds. We've always talked about how probably if we were creating it now, we would come up with some name that's a little, more recognizable and maybe in English.
Americanized.
Yeah, I like it. I love it.
But, we just stuck with it because we've had it for so long.
Yeah.
It's hard to change it.
Yeah, at this point. Yeah.
When we started the blog, we had no idea that it would be known and people would try to pronounce it. We just started basically for us.
Yeah. So tell me about that. So you were in college and then you moved here, and then you started the blog, or were you in college still when
I was still in college.
Okay.
In the beginning, right? Just in the beginning, started in college,
Because I think I remember that you got into plant-based food and thinking about your health and wellness after Paloma was born. So tell us about what the impetus for that was.
Yeah, when she was born, my thyroid started to act up, and I had all kinds of health issues. And my research of natural healing led me to raw food. And I was so interested and fascinated with the concept. I started to cook, uncook, eat that way. It was not only it improved my health conditions, but it's also like opened the possibility for me to like make completely different type of dishes and foods, and I don't know how to describe it, but I was really fascinated for a long time with that. And after I cooked through a couple of raw food books, I started to make my own recipes. And I got into really crazy, like gourmet sort of desserts with really like delicate coconut, like young coconut crusts with rose petals, and coconut cream was just really amazing. And Masha was kind of really interested in that. She saw that, she saw the possibility of showing it to people, I guess.
Yeah. Right? I was reading a few food blogs at the time. Back then it was still very early.
What were you reading?
I was reading 101 cookbooks, Canel at Vanille.
Green Kitchen Stories.
Green Kitchen Stories, yeah.
Yeah.
And, I looked at it and I was like, maybe Mom should do this because, her stuff is amazing. And she was really making, crazy, amazing things at home. So
yeah, that's really cool. So you have a background in engineering and dentistry, I read.
Right.
So how did this? That seems very logical, and what you do in the kitchen is so creative. Was this a hobby and an outlet that you were able to kind of play different notes in yourself? How did you decide to focus here?
Well, like Masha was saying that America gave her a chance to go to school for something that she really loved. And back in Russia, when I was growing up, we didn't have that chance. And I probably would never go into engineering school if I had a choice to, to choose what I really want to do. And engineering was something that my father really wanted me to do, and I never really worked in that field. So it's really not something that I really know very well, although I spent a lot of years in school for that.
Yeah.
Dentistry is a little different. I really enjoyed working in that field for several years here, and I really love to work with patients. And I think it gave me some understanding of maybe nutrition, health.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of leads together.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah, no, that was great. So you're starting to cook and you're starting to make these creative things. Meanwhile, you're reading these other blogs and you're kind of like, my mom could do this, but she doesn't know how to make the website and do the design. So who approached who, and how did you guys decide to put this on the internet?
Yeah, I think I just made a blog, and then I was like, hey Mom, let's, next time I come for winter break or something, let's just take pictures of some recipes. And at first, I just had like a little Panasonic point and shoot, and the pictures were really terrible. I think I took them all down from the blog, but yeah, we just started out that way, and I don't know how.
Even I was taking photos. Remember at the time we finally bought expensive, nice camera, and she won't take it to Providence with her. I had it, and at that time we already had some readers, so we had to stay on top of it. So I was taking photos. I think they all gone from the blog at this point.
Yeah, because when I was in college, I would just be really busy and not able to, keep up with taking all the recipe photos.
When did you feel like the blog really took off? Was there a moment or something that happened?
I'm trying to
Those
think.
chocolate Easter eggs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we made, again, crazy raw chocolate Easter eggs.
White chocolate shell. She painted dark chocolate spots on them.
Yeah, like a quail egg.
It was like a raw, young coconut white.
Filling?
Yeah, with the mango.
Oh, yeah.
Yolk inside.
Yeah, it was wow.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
We made like a real pretty box of it.
Yeah.
For Easter.
Wow, beautiful.
I think that's probably when we started seeing like, we have 100 visits or something like that, which was a big deal back then.
So then how did your book deal come to be? That came later? After college, did you think that you would make this, a career, an aspect of your career?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the book deal, I think, came right as I was finishing up college. Right? Yeah. And, the publisher reached out to us, Bruce Books, which we're still with them now.
What was that like, getting that call, email? What did that feel like for you guys? How did you celebrate that?
It was very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I remember we were in San Francisco. It's a Modern Art Museum.
Mm-hmm.
And we had that email on the finalizing the contract.
Mm-hmm.
And we really were happy.
Yeah.
Because it gave me an opportunity to quit dentistry.
Yeah.
And do something that I really, really like.
Were you ever nervous that this would take too much of your time and you wouldn't be able to pursue fashion, or were you good with focusing here?
Yeah, I think at first I was really, really nervous about that, and I really wanted at first to be in fashion full time, and then after working in fashion full time for 3 years or so, I realized that maybe it's not the path for me. I found out a lot of, aspects of the industry that I don't really enjoy, and just didn't really see myself doing that sustainably for my whole life.
Yeah.
So that's when I just realized that what we do is what I actually truly enjoy.
Yeah.
So it took me kind of some time to realize that. Yeah.
So what was the process writing that first book like?
We really didn't know much about it when we started. Really in the dark. The process was just creating recipe and photographing it right away. That's how we did it in the beginning.
No, I think you would prepare a bunch of recipes and then we would photograph them later. I don't know. Yeah, it was a while ago.
I already kind of forgot because we just finished our new book. Yeah, so. But it was very different. Remember. I know that it was very different. Oh no! You came for the whole summer after college. You stayed. Yeah, right. I know that was different. Okay. She stayed the whole summer, pretty much, at least a couple months, for us to actually photograph. And I was creating recipes as we go.
Does your younger daughter help with the blog at all, or does she recipe test?
Oh yeah,
yes.
Yeah, she's just 9 years old.
Oh wow!
And she loves to be involved into cooking and photography, and of course tasting. Yeah, she loves that.
Oh, that's so fun.
And she's dreaming about writing her own book.
Oh.
And she has.
So she's interested. She's not like turned off by it because her mom does it.
No, she's very interested. She has already a couple of recipes she thinks she developed.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
Yeah, so she loves that.
That must have been really challenging, writing a cookbook while also keeping up with the blog and keeping up with new content there. How did you guys handle that summer and even now, working on the new book?
I think, we scaled back. We didn't post as much, I'm pretty sure. During
especially final stages. Mm-hmm. But it's two of us. It makes it, of course, much easier. I don't know how one person can do all this. Yeah. It's really, really a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's
so much work. Yeah.
Well, speaking of, what advice, I know when you guys started 10 years ago at this point, it was a really different landscape for blogs. I often say that podcasts are kind of where blogs were back then, 10 years ago, where they're kind of everywhere and everyone is starting to have one. But when I started, it was more like when you started with blogging, where it wasn't as, there weren't as many. So what advice would you, I know it's kind of hard with that, but what advice would you give to someone who wants to start a blog or has a creative thing that they want to show in that way? What would you say?
Yeah, it's so different nowadays. It's so saturated. There's so many people doing amazing things, taking amazing photographs, and it kind of all gets lost. I think, like everybody says, finding your own voice is really important. Maybe finding a niche or something like that.
I think if you're really, really good, you still can make it in that world. You still can stand out.
Yeah.
If you're really passionate, you really love it, you really know the ways to show it. Don't you think?
Yeah, definitely.
Because we constantly see new blogs that taking off just like this.
Yeah. Where do you draw inspiration from now? you have so many recipes and have 2 cookbooks, do you ever feel like a lack of inspiration or procrastination coming in? How do you push past that?
Definitely procrastination. Yeah, I like to procrastinate.
Me
a lot.
too. I'm very good at it.
In terms of inspiration, it's easy for me to get inspired, luckily, just from any conversation with friends, going out, traveling, reading blogs, cookbooks, Pinterest.
Yeah.
So I don't really feel lack of inspiration, but I can procrastinate and drag it, not taste a new recipe or too many ideas at one time, and I can't separate them.
Yeah.
That's an issue with me.
Yeah. What about you, Masha? Do you, as an artist and as a designer and everything you do, what do you do on a day where you just feel uninspired or you don't want to do the work?
Yeah, I think getting outside of my space, away from the computer, even just going for a walk or something like that, not looking at other blogs or Pinterest or anything, and just kind of letting myself be. And I think like then your head becomes fresh again, and then the ideas keep flowing in, hopefully.
Yeah. What about working as a mother-daughter? How do you handle that relationship when you're working together and then also being family with each other? Do you ever have to separate that? Has it ever been a problem? I'm sure there's really great moments of it being wonderful, but how do you handle that?
Well, I think it's very easy from my perspective, it's been easy to work with my daughter. I think it's much easier than with the non-family member. That's only my experience. I don't feel the need to separate life and work and relationship and work because we really love it so much. And I think it brings us together more than anything.
Yeah, definitely. We talk every day. I don't know, none of my friends talk to their moms as much as I talk to my mom. We're just constantly in communication. And I mean, it is hard because every time we're together, we are working.
That's
always
the only downside.
We're never, just hanging out together. We're always either talking about work or doing work. But we're both so passionate about it that
doesn't feel like it.
It's still really fun.
So tell me about this new cookbook and how is it different from your first cookbook?
Well, with the first cookbook, we again didn't know much what we were doing, and I think I love it still a lot. And we were focusing about more like beauty and design of the dishes, although it's very tasty, and creativity aspect of it. I think with the second book, my idea of it was like to use any and every vegetable that you can find on supermarket, on market, and using that vegetable in familiar and well-known dishes like pizza, pasta, risotto, paella, wraps and rolls, stews. So you can pretty much go and pick any vegetable and you can find the recipe for it in the book. And I also was trying to concentrate on the simplicity of the dishes. And I think we succeeded with that for the most part. Some recipes like have multiple parts in it, but you can take any part and use it in other setting. Like for instance, we have this collard green wrap with roasted carrots, chickpea avocado mash, and cranberry relish.
Sounds delicious.
So you can take, if you don't have all these ingredients, or you don't have time to make it all, or you just feel a little intimidated, you can just take that avocado chickpea mash with spices and herbs and use it in seasonal bowl or on the toast.
Yeah.
And same with carrots. You can just put it over grains. So it's that's how we try to suggest to use this type of recipes.
Yeah.
You think it's an accurate description?
Yeah, definitely. I'm really excited about it because it's stuff that I actually just cook in my kitchen all the time. Previous book, I was also younger and didn't know how to cook as well. So all those recipes kind of intimidated me. But this book, I cook from it all the time.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
What are some of your, you mentioned one recipe, what are some other favorite recipes from this book? And I also want to know separately, what is your favorite recipe on the blog or from all time?
How about in the book?
In the
What is your
book,
favorite?
what I'm thinking of right away is the polenta pizza.
I wanted to mention that.
It's because we just made it recently. It's pizza, but the crust is made out of polenta.
Ooh.
So it's easier to make than regular pizza crust. You know, you don't have to knead it or anything like that.
Really made in minutes.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's really, really quick. And it's topped with romesco sauce and tomatoes and basil. So it's kind of like a traditional pizza, but the crust is really unusual and it's really good.
Sounds delicious.
We make it all the time at home.
Oh, yeah.
And to me, what I always make and often make from the book is from Just Veggies chapter. I have that marinated eggplant and marinated vegetable beets and celery root.
Yeah.
That's the recipes that I make frequently for all the parties and friends. You know,
Yeah.
everybody loves them.
I saw the most beautiful balls on your Instagram, like the most recent post. Are those in the book or those on the blog?
On the blog.
Oh, I'll link to that in this episode. So what were they called?
They're sweet potato truffles.
Yeah.
So they actually have sweet potato in them.
They were so beautiful.
Thank you.
They're really
Beautiful
tasty.
they were.
They're really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good.
What's your favorite recipe that you've made ever, other than the ones we've mentioned so far?
It's a really hard question for me because I make so many of them, and
Yeah.
every new recipe is kind of the best to me.
Yeah.
But I would mention that a bonus recipe bundle that we just finalized for our pre-order for the new book, and I have this shepherd pie that is really, really delicious, and I'm very excited about that recipe. And actually, a few of them like that. Penne pot baked pasta is really delicious.
Ooh.
And fried rice, yeah. So that's the most recent recipes that I'm really proud of.
Yeah.
They turned out really good.
Do you have a favorite recipe of your mom of all time?
Yeah. I mean, I have a lot, but I'm a huge chocoholic. I love chocolate. And we have this recipe on the blog for savory raw chocolate.
Ooh.
And
wow.
Yeah, it's so good. It's got, I mean, you can put a ton of stuff in there, but it's got seaweed, like nori seaweed.
Okay, now we're talking.
Yeah, it's so good. And seeds, like pumpkin seeds and hemp seeds and
Turmeric.
Is it like a
turmeric,
bark kind of?
Yeah, it's like a bark.
Sort of, yeah. And I love that because you can make it and you don't have to add any sweetener to it, and it still, to me at least, tastes so good.
Right, because it's savory.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So I make that all the time.
And you just freeze it? You don't have to...
Yeah, you just keep it in the fridge. Yeah.
Wow, cool. Oh, I want to make that. Okay, so you guys have this, I mentioned this interview series that I love so much. When did you start doing that, and how do you curate that with the people that you have? I love the questions that you guys ask. When did that begin?
Thank you. We started that this year. Just looking to do something different with the blog, because we've been seeing so many other recipe blogs popping up, and just really serving what we're interested in ourselves, and just trying to take it in a direction that we're really excited about. So we're still really excited about food, but, you know, healthy food as a part of self-care and is really important to us, and that just starts going into all these other things, like, you know, taking care of your mind, taking care of your body, your skin, all that stuff. So, and I've always really loved reading about people's routines.
Mm-hmm,
that's always been so interesting to me. There's even a book of like famous authors and stuff, routines, which I really love. And yeah, we just kind of...
And to me, I was like looking for motivation, because it's hard for me to motivate myself to exercise. And this really helps me when I read about people that I admire, how they do it.
Yeah. Is there a piece of wisdom or anything from these interviews that each of you have really taken into your life or that you remember sticks out to you?
Do you have any?
Every single interview was so inspiring and really did a lot for me. I cannot really pinpoint any particular.
I have one. It's not out yet, but I think it's going to be out by the time this podcast is out. It's Beth Kirby from Local Milk. And she just talks about how once you take care of yourself, all this other stuff falls into place in your life. So like, I don't really know. She put it so well. So when you're not taking care of yourself, nobody else around you can really be taken care of by you because you're not, putting the time in for yourself. I thought that was just a really good thought.
I remember that. It's very interesting. Another person was talking about how she needed to be on her own, and it really resonated with me. Like she had all the system. Remember?
Oh yeah, Satsuki Shibuya.
Yeah. She had a system like points. If she go into the doctor, it's like half point. If she has a class, it's 2 points. And then she needs to restore her energy.
Wow.
And it really, I love to read about that because I'm just like that. I never put it in words, and reading it was so reassuring.
Right.
So I'm not that weird.
Yeah. No, same. It's like introvert, extrovert. Like I need equal measure of time by myself to recharge, and then if I spend too much time alone, I start to feel a little bit crazy and like I need time around people, and if I'm around people too much, I need more time on my own. So it's like finding that balance and getting that combination right is hard. I like that point system. I need to read that one.
Yeah, it was really beautiful.
Really smart.
Yeah, very smart.
Well, I also am very fascinated by routines, and getting to the questions that I ask everyone. One of the things I ask on this podcast from the beginning is about morning and evening routines. So what are each of your, first 3 or 4 things you do when you wake up in the morning, how that affects how the rest of your day goes? And we'll do evening. Whoever wants to start.
On a good morning, I basically just roll onto my mat. And I do Upa yoga. It's like a pre-yoga. It's very light, like Upa yoga.
Never even heard of it.
It's from Sadhguru.
Okay.
He teaches that technique.
Cool.
It's like inner engineering system. Cool. And it's basically to get you going, to get your joints lubricated.
Oh, love that.
To the light exercises. And then I meditate.
What kind of meditation do you do?
It's Sadhguru meditation or inner engineering. It's combination of certain breathing techniques and simple mantra. Okay. And I really love it. I'm really addicted to it, and it really helps me to have a good day after that.
Yeah. So then what do you do after that? After that, from home?
Yeah, I drink water. It's either salty water or lemon water. And I make a huge salad.
Oh, salad.
Yeah, since I wrote the second book, I really got into salads in the morning.
Wow.
Especially during our growing season. Right now it's growing season in Florida, and we have just luscious greens. We don't have a garden, but we have a Saturday morning market, and we have organic farms who coming to us, and they selling all kinds of beautiful greens and vegetables. And I make huge salad for myself with one of the dressings from the book. From the new book. It's like miso, tahini, lemon dressing.
So good.
And I usually, after that, I drink herbal tea and eat some seasonal fruit. Now it's persimmons. I'm really big on persimmons.
I love persimmons. They're my favorite.
It's my favorite fruit.
They're so good.
Yeah.
I love them.
And after that, I can start working.
So are you usually spending your days recipe testing and then writing, or do you guys
doing research?
Okay.
Or cooking.
Yeah.
Recipe testing. I also have 9-year-old. I have to prepare her lunch and pick her up from school.
Yeah, that's a whole other job. Yeah. What about you, Masha? How do you start your day?
I also try to meditate. I don't do it every day.
What kind of meditation do you do?
Also Sadhguru.
Okay.
That same meditation.
How long do you guys meditate? Is it?
It's a
21 minutes. It should be 20. Okay. And actually, you, without timing it, it's surprisingly coming up to 21 minutes.
Oh, wow.
You just feeling it. It's
Wow.
all parts of breathing and mantra. And with time, you kind of
Feel it.
You feel it. And it's exactly 21 minutes.
Wow. I do TM, and the thing with TM is that it's 20 minutes of doing it, but they say 30 seconds of like preparation, and then after you meditate with the mantra for 20 minutes, it's 2 minutes of just sitting in silence. They say you shouldn't come out of it quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole thing ends up being 22 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
or 22 and a half, I guess. But it's kind of a similar, there must be something about that, because almost every form of meditation, it's almost around 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 15 to 25 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
I find. It's like, must be a proven sweet spot that works or something. Or
Right.
it's like enough time without taking too much of your day, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, and I heard that you can't do it longer. You have to study more, I think, in order to do a longer meditation or something like that.
Makes sense.
No, I never knew that. Really?
Yeah, no, I heard maybe it was about some other kind of meditation that I read.
Because lately I tend to sit longer with that.
Mm.
I have like breaks in between mantra and breathing because it gives you such a nice feeling.
Yeah. Cool. So you meditate in the morning.
Meditate, not every day. I'm not as disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
Yoga is really important for me. Any length and, any kind, just getting on the mat and doing at least a few things, really important to get me going, especially, sitting at the desk all day and all that.
Yeah. So your element of this partnership is more sitting, more writing, more design.
Yep. Yeah. Then I like to have breakfast, like first thing after yoga or meditation. I always need to eat really quickly in the morning. It depends on what the weather is like, on what I eat. Right now it's porridges and warming stuff.
Yeah.
In the summer it's smoothies. I make like a huge green smoothie with everything packed into it.
Yeah.
And then
do you work from home for both of your jobs?
I work from home I have so many little freelance gigs. For our thing, I work from home. I have another job where I work from an office 2 days a week, and then another thing where it's also from home.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice I find that too, to have places to go in New York and also be able to not have to go somewhere is also very nice.
Mm-hmm, totally. No, it's good to have those few days to actually go to the office.
Yeah.
Get out of the house, see people.
Yeah. You were gonna say you make tea after?
Yeah, I always make tea. I just drink herbal tea. I don't drink any caffeine at all. I can't handle coffee. I never was able to handle it. And I recently stopped drinking any caffeine because I just find that I have more energy throughout the day. And in general, I just really like it.
Yeah.
Just herbal tea and then I start working.
What about in the evening? What are your routines in the evening? How do you wind down? How do you relax at the end of the day, especially working from home?
I like to read. Reading the book in bed, it's a big thing for me.
What have you been reading lately?
Abraham Hicks.
Oh, I love Abraham Hicks. Which book are you reading?
Ask and It's Given.
Okay, that was the first one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love listening to them on YouTube. If I have like any sort of problem, I'm just like Abraham Hicks relationship, Abraham Hicks pimple, even like whatever. There's something for everything they have on there.
I tried to listen to Esther and it was difficult for me.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to understand, and that's why I bought the book.
Cool. Are you liking it?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do a lot. Yeah. I actually brought it here. It's in Philly, waiting for me.
Yeah. Cool. What else at the end of the day? Any other evening routines you do?
I usually make dinner with my boyfriend, and then we watch something on Netflix.
Yeah. What have you guys been watching?
Right now, it's The Crown.
Oh, we were just talking about that.
Really?
Yeah, I heard season 2 is really good. I haven't watched it.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's great. And then more tea.
Yeah.
And then bed. Sometimes I'll do, my boyfriend got me into breathing exercises. Have you ever heard of Wim Hof?
I think the last guest that I had on was recently telling me about this, but tell me more. Yeah, I don't really know what it is.
I'm not the best person to ask about it, but he has a whole system of, like cold training. Like he's all about taking cold showers.
Oh,
and,
yes. It makes sense for surfing in this weather.
Yeah, and so he combines that with certain breathing techniques, and that's just supposed to do all kinds of good things for your body. But there's this one main breathing technique that he does where you inhale and exhale really deeply for, I think, maybe 30 times or something like that. And then you exhale it all and you hold your breath for as long as you can. And because your body was so oxygenated from breathing in and out for 30 times, like really hard, you can hold your breath for a really long time, like surprisingly long time.
And then do you feel kind of like high after?
Yeah, and then once you actually, you hold your breath, and then once you actually breathe in, it feels crazy. There's oxygen just rushing through your body, and it is kind of trippy sometimes.
Yeah, I want to do that like after this.
Yeah, it's cool. Sometimes I'll do that. Not every day. But sometimes.
Oh, that's really cool. Okay, before I finish asking you the questions that I ask everyone, I want to talk about your kitchen. So you recently built your dream kitchen, and it's beautiful, much like your apartment. I love the way that you guys, your eye and for design and the way things look is so specific and also fits my taste. I really enjoy it. So what was that process like? It was something that I know you've always wanted to do, and now it's so perfect for your work. What was that like, and how did you have that vision?
Well, it took me about 6 months to design it. Mm-hmm. I'm Libra. My horoscope sign is Libra. I'm so indecisive, and to me,
I'm not a Libra, but I must have that quality.
It's very hard for me to make a choice.
Yeah, me too.
It was really torturous for me.
Yeah.
It was interesting, but just to make a decision, Masha knows everything about it. But finally we did it, and I think it, turned out really nice.
Yeah.
Better than I thought.
Yeah.
There was some really nice finds. Like, remember the wooden crates?
Yes.
Farm fruit crates?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so convenient to use too, and our contractor built that cabinet with them. And actually it's my husband who had this idea to use them. Wow. And he's not a designer, but he actually looked at them and said, if we make cabinets.
Yeah. What does he do?
He's a salesperson.
Oh, wow. Does he like your food, and does he have a favorite recipe?
He loves it.
Yeah.
He's a really good eater, and he's really excited about anything that I make.
Yeah. Oh,
he's a good recipe tester. All of them, Paloma and Anya.
Yeah. Well, if you need another one, I'm right
Certainly.
Here in New York. Were you involved in designing the kitchen? Because it's such a central part of your work now.
Mm-hmm. I helped maybe pick out a few things, but it was mostly Mom. She did most of it.
I was torturing her a lot with my choices, asking, what do you think? What do you think? Which style? This or this? Maybe it should be gray, or maybe it should be more pink, or that was...
Yeah. You just need to talk it out with another person, even though you probably know at the end of the day what you want, but sometimes it's good to just have your decision validated.
Definitely.
And I picked really not easy to find materials, especially for the wall. I used that Moroccan plaster.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, and it's very hard to find a person who really knows how to apply it.
Yeah.
So it was quite a process.
As soon as it was finished, did you know that you were going to make a post about it, and did you style everything?
Yeah, we were planning on doing a post about it because we had a few sponsors for the kitchen, people who would give us discounts if we showed their stuff. And it was really fun to shoot it. We shot it over a course of a week, and in the morning, in the evening, different light. It was really fun.
It's interesting that people who saw pictures before they saw the finished kitchen, they're saying that it looks very different. In person, it looks much bigger.
Yeah.
I don't see it because
even better.
It's even much better in person. I heard it a lot.
Cool.
And we replaced the table at this point. We just found just beautiful farm table. I just can't say enough about it. Even better than we have in the pictures.
Oh, wow.
And still in the process of making some additions.
Cool.
Shelves and,
Cool. Well, can we talk about that, the business of blogging, and how you guys have connected with brands, and any advice you have for people getting into blogging or who are into blogging, of how you make a living at blogging today?
Yeah, it's, we work with a lot of brands where we use their ingredients or maybe some kind of kitchen appliances in posts. I don't know, my advice would be just work with brands that you truly believe in, where you actually like their products or their, ingredients. It's always, I think we love all of our sponsors. We're just so happy to have them.
Because they're happy
with
what we do, and we really enjoy the product and bringing them more customers.
Yeah. Did you feel like you had to learn negotiation? You had to learn business from, being on the creative side of it? Was that a challenge or something you had to learn?
Definitely, yeah. Just asking for money basically.
Yeah.
It feels so weird because you're like, am I actually worth that?
Right.
There's always that doubt, but you have to overcome that and really see your value.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel the same. It's the same with podcast sponsors. It's, I think, first working with people that you genuinely love, but also making sure, you can't work with everyone, so you have to ask for what you're worth, and it's a complicated, interesting thing.
Yeah.
That I think people don't talk about a lot.
Definitely.
So it's, yeah. Okay, so now say your greatest lesson on a couple things. You can just say the first thing that comes to mind. So greatest lesson on self-care for each of you. Or what that means to
Acupuncture. I would say acupuncture, yeah. That it changed my life, basically.
Yeah. Wow. Well, we never really finished on what happened with your thyroid issues after having your youngest daughter. Was raw food and acupuncture? How are you doing?
I found acupuncture much later.
Okay.
But raw food definitely helped a lot, and it taught me to use a lot of greens.
Yeah.
I never actually did that before. Even I cooked vegetarian for years, and it actually changed my body, changed the way I feel. And to this day, even I don't do raw food precisely, but I eat a lot of salads and green juice and smoothies all the time. So that huge lesson from using raw food and finding raw food diet.
And acupuncture has been really helpful too?
Acupuncture helps me with pretty much every issue.
Cool.
If it would be my choice, I would use it instead of any kind of traditional doctor for everything. It was not an issue that acupuncture wouldn't actually help or cure.
Wow.
With the thyroid, I have that autoimmune disease. That's what
Hashimoto's?
Yeah, Hashimoto's. That is hypothyroid.
Yeah.
So you basically have to take, it's very low dose for me.
Yeah.
I'm taking it every day.
I do that too.
You do?
Yeah.
So you know what it means.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, autoimmune is autoimmune. It's not much you can do. It's the best autoimmune disease you can have, Hashimoto. That's what my endocrinologist told me. If you can choose autoimmune disease, better be Hashimoto, because it's really easy to control.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're talking about other issues, hormones, common cold, anything, I had an issue with anxiety a couple of years ago, and it really helps acupuncture.
Yeah.
And we have this amazing lady. She's a Russian lady, but she studied Chinese acupuncture.
Oh, cool.
She's really, really amazing. I can't say enough about her.
She's like an angel.
Wow. She's an angel, yeah.
In Florida?
She's in Florida. Yeah. She's in New York, actually, today.
Oh, wow. Yeah. You should come over.
Yeah. I just learned that she's in New York like a minute before I came over.
What about you? What's your greatest lesson on self-care, favorite self-care routine right now?
I think just realizing my limitations. I'm like super sensitive and super introverted. Mm-hmm. So just realizing that it's okay that, I don't really want to go to parties or get really tired in social situations, and just kind of embracing that, or, just being okay with the fact that that's how I am.
Yeah. Okay, this is more for you, or exclusively for you. What greatest lesson on motherhood?
Let your kids choose what they want to do. Don't put much pressure on them.
another thing we talk a lot about on the podcast is body image, and I think it really fits with what you guys do with food and wellness. So has that ever been something that either of you have, and I assume that it is because unfortunately as women, I feel like it's something that we all kind of think about and struggle with, and especially working in fashion. So I usually frame the question this way. When you're having a bad body image moment, if you do, how do you shift out of that and make sure it doesn't become a bad body image day or week? What are some mental things you do for yourself or practices?
Well, meditation helps a lot. And I usually started to drink a lot of water. Maybe it sounds funny, but it really helps me to feel better about myself.
Yeah, I think the same for me. Just being nice to myself, eating healthy food, exercising, all of that just makes me feel immediately better about myself.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
We also talk about feminism and being a woman in the world and navigating, you have this business together, kind of what we were talking about before with negotiation and speaking up for yourself as a woman and immigrating to this country. What kind of lessons or how do you support other women and handle navigating the world as a woman at this time?
I think my greatest lessons have been from my mom because she moved here, with nothing and was able to build a life. And that just makes me see that, anything is really possible. There's no limitations. That's just
How did you
really
do that?
inspiring.
Were you nervous about moving here? What was that time like for you, moving here with nothing? And
I'm very adventurous by nature, so I was very excited to see a new country, new world. Of course, it was very hard in the beginning, but in the meantime, it was very exciting, and I was excited to give it to Masha.
Yeah. So you knew you would come here and kind of get settled and then bring your daughter here?
I really didn't have any firm plans.
Yeah.
At all.
It must have been so scary to leave where you were and come here and have to start over like that. It's really inspiring.
It was more exciting than scary
Yeah.
for me. I'm just this type of person. I always love to travel and go places, and I don't really get homesick that easily.
Yeah.
Because it was very tough to leave my daughter behind. And of course, I never had planned to leave her for a couple of years.
Right.
That was the hardest part of it.
Yeah.
But I saw the opportunities in this country, so I really wanted to stay.
Yeah.
And then I met my husband. And,
How did you guys
better.
meet?
He was on a sales meeting in Florida, in Naples, where I work. And I worked in a Japanese restaurant at that time.
Oh, cool.
He was my customer.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Very cool. So my book is about journaling. So I always like to ask people a little bit about writing. And since you both are writers in some sense with the blog, have you guys ever journaled or processed your feelings or thoughts through journaling? And how else do you handle stress or your feelings? Are you in therapy? Obviously you both meditate. What are things that you do to kind of handle your emotions?
I was journaling a lot when I was younger.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really trendy thing to do. It just I felt the need, and I was into poetry.
Cool.
I wrote a lot. It was probably so silly, but I remember me doing it a lot.
Do you still write poems?
No, I don't journal. No. And to me, to handle stress and really unwind, I need to communicate with my girlfriends and have a good laugh and go out. Or just for a walk. We take really long walks, like a few miles over the bridges back home, and talk a lot and laughing, sharing. That's my therapy.
Yeah.
Basically.
Sounds
I have
like a delight.
wonderful friends. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. What do you, Masha?
It's about handling stress.
Yeah. Do you journal? What happens when you have like a bad day?
Same as mom. I journaled a lot when I was younger, all through, I think, middle school and all through high school, maybe in college. and then just kind of stopped. I think the blog is sort of like a journal for both of us, because even though it's just food, we're still recording certain points in time and what we're into at the moment, and all that. So yeah, I think that's kind of like my journal right now.
Yeah. How do you guys handle your relationship with social media and your phone and technology in general? I think that's such an interesting topic right now, especially with you guys having the platform that you have and having your success be so contributed to your presence on the internet. How do you handle your feelings about that and turn it off, or do you ever feel too tied to it or connected to it?
Yeah, definitely, all the time. I like to turn it off at night at a certain point. Just put it on airplane mode. I always put it on airplane mode when I'm sleeping. We just unplug our Wi-Fi altogether when we're sleeping.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely very hard, but at the same time, we kind of, for our profession, do have to be on it all the time. And it is also really inspiring, and meeting so many, people, and yeah. It's kind of a balance that you have to keep.
Do you guys both do the Instagram together? Do you have personal Instagrams? How do you handle that?
Masha has her personal Instagram.
Yeah, which I barely ever update because this one is already a lot for me. Yeah. So I basically never use it. But yeah, we do it together. I'm mostly the person who is actually doing the physical posting, but the photos we do together, and what we say we usually discuss, or sometimes discuss the description. Yeah, but I'm the one who's doing the actual posting.
Yeah. It can be a lot dealing with, I often struggle with, we were talking about the Mind Body Green story, like how much I enjoy it, and then also I don't want my feelings to be tied to it, of like how much I enjoy it. Mm-hmm. It's so fun to interact with people on it, but I'm also kind of like, well, this is not real. Like this is, it's not a real interaction with someone. It can kind of give you that hit that you've interacted with someone, but reminding yourself that it's not real and I still need to have really focus on the relationships in real life. Mm-hmm. I don't know, it's an interesting thing. I haven't quite figured out its effects on me yet.
It's also hard when you get used to, getting a lot of likes or a lot of followers, when that stuff, starts going away. Like with the algorithm, we've definitely noticed less engagement, less likes, and we just can't really do anything about it except just keep posting stuff that we're passionate about. So it's always like, oh, I didn't get enough likes, and that starts you in a whole tangent of bad feelings, which are just not real, and it's hard to control. And it's so weird
because the photos you're posting are of equal or better quality of the photos you posted before, and it's hard to even, we were just having this conversation, he's a photographer, and he was saying like it's silly to compare your photos to each other, of this one got more likes, and it's arbitrary, it's so silly, but we do it, and I don't know, I don't know the answer, but it's
can really mess with you, but you just kind of have to step away at some point.
Yeah, exactly. What's one thing you wish more people knew about wellness? If you had to say one thing.
I would say that it's not as exclusive or difficult as people think. I think a lot of people are intimidated by healthy cooking specifically, but it's really not as hard as it might seem. I don't know. You can just make a really simple meal that will be really nourishing and really good for you, and it doesn't have to be a lot of work. It'll still taste really good.
Yeah, I know many people who really don't buy certain vegetables, because they don't know what to do with that, like celery root. I never would buy that, they would say, because I have no idea what to do with that, or turnips or rutabaga. And it's really such an amazing vegetables, and that's why we wrote this book, to show them how to use it in very creative ways. It's really, like Masha said, not that difficult at all.
I love that. And can be fun.
Yeah.
What's the best thing each of you have eaten in the last week?
I already mentioned that shepherd's pie in our bonus pre-order. But also, we just went to some Moroccan restaurant in Philadelphia, and we had a plate of marinated vegetables, which is so simple. Carrots, eggplant, and cucumbers.
Yeah.
It was really amazing. There's certain spice they had. I couldn't figure out what it was, but it was just unbelievably good. And my 9-year-old, she was so serious about it. She was making wraps with every single vegetable. And before that, she would not touch eggplant. To me, eggplant is absolutely my favorite vegetable. And innocent eggplant I would take, but she was really impressed and told me, Mom, can you make eggplant like this at home? I said, I wish I knew the recipe because I couldn't figure out the actual spice and marinade. It was really amazing.
Oh, cool. I just cooked and photographed a beet soup for our pre-order bonus for the book, and it was just really good. really good. It's very simple, and you don't only use the beetroot, you also use the tops, the leaves and the stems, which are so nutritious. And so the whole beet gets used, and it's just so good. You can feel it's really nourishing when you're eating it.
Perfect for this time of year.
Yeah.
Really good. Speaking of here in New York, what is your favorite part of living in New York and most challenging part of living in New York?
I think my favorite part is just how accessible everything is, from, entertainment, museums, all that stuff. Food, obviously, I can get any ingredient, ever. There's so many little stores that are amazing. Most challenging, definitely the amount of people. I get very tired of crowds and crowded subway at rush hour and all that. Really drains me. And just being away from nature. I really miss nature. Mm-hmm. So that's the most challenging.
Do you have a favorite New York moment or memory?
Favorite? Maybe getting into this apartment.
This is an amazing apartment. It's mine too, and I'm just visiting.
It was such a stressful point, just looking for it, and I had 2 days to move out of my other apartment, and we still didn't find anything we like. And then finally this came through somehow. And it's just really great.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite places to eat in New York? I know you cook a lot.
Mm-hmm. In this neighborhood in Bed-Stuy, there's a really good Italian restaurant called Saragina. Have you ever heard of it? It's deeper into Bed-Stuy. They do wood-fired pizza, classic Italian stuff, but it's so good. And the vibe in there is really cool. It's dark and just really cool furniture. They have really good drinks.
Nice.
It's really good.
What else? Any other places?
I love Suwon.
Oh yeah. I live in that neighborhood and I eat there since I don't cook, they do most of my cooking.
I love them. I love how home cooked it seems and just so chill. As far as fancy stuff, my boyfriend and I recently went to Blue Hill.
Oh yeah, I've always wanted to go.
And that was just
I've heard it's just crazy and wild. Probably really good for inspiration.
Yeah, totally. It was amazing. Amazing.
I saw the Chef's Table episode. Have you seen that?
Yep, I did.
Have you seen that?
No, I don't think I
feel like you would really like it. You should watch it.
I've seen that guy who runs the restaurant.
It's Dan Barber.
Dan Barber, definitely I did.
Seemed very stressed in the episode. Did not seem like he wanted.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting.
I wanted him to slow down and enjoy, but it sounds like you do when you eat at his restaurant.
Yeah, it was amazing, really good.
What about when you come to the city? Are there any favorite places that you have here?
Yeah.
Okonomi.
Is that the Japanese?
Yeah, breakfast place.
Yes, where is that in Brooklyn? Williamsburg.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that. I want to go this week.
Mm-hmm.
So it's only breakfast?
They're a breakfast place, I think until 2 or 3, and then they turn into a ramen place, I think in the evening, which is also supposed to be good.
What is the Japanese breakfast?
It's very, very authentic. I really don't remember what I ate there, but it was just
it's not
so
vegan.
good.
Are you
it's
vegan?
not vegan.
not particularly.
Yeah, there's seafood. There's like they do the classic. It's like a rice bowl, and then you break an egg into it and mix the egg, and there's like seaweed and all that stuff. There's different little pickled vegetables.
Oh, okay, I'm in. That sounds delicious.
Yeah, it's amazing. There's also seafood. There's like fish and stuff.
And I know that Japanese place when they serve soba noodle salad with many different types of seaweed. I forgot what is the name of it.
Oh, that's usagi. That's like a cafe in Dumbo. My office that I work at is in Dumbo, and it's like a gallery and a cafe. Cool. They do matcha, bento boxes, and one of the
I think I follow them on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's a piece of art. If you look at all the different seaweeds, they are fascinating.
I want to go there too.
So tasty.
I should be taking notes for
it. Sounds like I only eat Japanese food.
I love Japanese food. We had next door to Suen in my neighborhood. There's a ramen place, Roku, I think it's called.
Oh yeah, I've heard of
it. There? Really good. I found it through Lacey Phillips, posted about it, and I loved it. We were also very hungry when we got there last night, but we got like 3 different types of seaweed situations, like a hajiki, and so good. And this time of year, warm things like that is all I want. Yeah. Well, here.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, a couple more greatest lessons, and then we'll dock this boat, and you guys can get back to Philly. But what is your greatest lesson on relationships?
Again, mine is close to what I say about children. Let it be, let the person do his thing.
Yeah.
Don't put too much pressure.
Yeah, I think mine is that nobody can be completely perfect for you. Like there will never be a person who you're just completely happy with everything about them. And just, letting those things be and finding beauty in them.
And that's really good. Yeah. I like that.
That's really, really good.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. What about greatest lesson on spirituality, God? What do you think happens when we die? All of that.
I'm only in the process of finding my spiritual path. And I only started to meditate this past July. So I'm learning. I can't really... What happens when we die? I don't really have firm belief. No idea what happens. I wish to think that it would be even a better place, better life there. I really don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm also very, we grew up in a really secular family, no religion. So yeah, I'm also just now starting. I think meditation really helps with that and just getting more spiritual. Even though I'm not religious. Definitely, don't believe in any set religion, but I don't know. I think we're all energy, and probably after we die, we, remain some kind of energy, but in a different form. But who knows?
Yeah, I agree. I like that too. Okay, this is really just a way to recommend things, but I usually frame it as you're trapped on a deserted island and you can bring with you one food, one book, one piece of music, one movie, one TV show. What would you bring? So these can be like all-time favorites or things that you're loving today.
We start with the book.
Sure.
I have to bring 2 books.
Okay.
It would be Bulgakov. It's Mikhail Bulgakov. It's Russian author. Master and Margarita. Okay. He actually inspired, this book inspired Mick Jagger. He wrote the song Sympathy for the Devil under the influence of this book.
Cool.
I can't live without it. I drag it all over the place.
Fiction?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Cool.
And another one would be Leo Tolstoy, Anna Karenina. These 2 books I have to bring.
Cool. All right. What about movie?
Movie. Again, it would be Russian movies, so old Russian movies.
Okay. What about music? Something you love or like recent?
It would be Russian bard. Is it something that recognizable by Americans? Bard is like poetry and the guitar together.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys call it here. Or something classical. Chopin, Tchaikovsky.
Yeah. What about a food you'd never get sick of?
Persimmons.
Oh, me too. They're so good. They're so good. I want one right now. And I think that was everything. TV show? Have you been watching anything you've been liking? I want to recommend.
I mostly watch Russian television.
Yeah.
And I do like figure skating. I'm really passionate about that. And biathlon is a sort of sport that's very, very popular in Europe. And
biathlon. It's like
biathlon,
skiing
and shooting.
sport.
All right. I've never heard of it. Interesting. Cool. What about you, Masha? What have you been loving lately? Music, book?
Music. I think to Deserted Island, I would take Leonard Cohen. Anything by him. I love him. Book, I'm blanking. Let me think. Food would have to be raw chocolate. What else is there?
TV show. Movie.
I just rewatched a documentary about the artist Andy Goldsworthy. Have you heard of him? He does installations in nature. So he'll use like leaves to make an installation on a tree, and it's like really amazing.
Oh, cool.
And there's a documentary about his process.
What's his name?
Andy Goldsworthy.
Okay, cool.
And that was a really good movie. I don't know if that would be the one I would take, but that's the one I'm thinking of right now. It's really good.
Yeah. And I think that was everything.
Book, I can't think. I'm sure there's one that I would take that I can't think of, but I just reread An Everlasting Meal by Tamar Adler, and it's amazing. It's kind of like a cookbook / memoir, and she just basically teaches you how to cook without recipes. She just talks about, using up scraps of food and working with leftovers and just being adventurous and not scared in the kitchen. But she also has a really poetic voice. It's so good. It always, like, if I'm, not inspired in the kitchen, I'll read that book and it immediately makes me want to cook or, go to the market or something like that.
Yeah, cool.
Really good.
So we're about to be in a new year. By the time people are listening to this, we will be. You guys have a book coming out and a lot of really exciting things. What are some of do you guys either have any New Year's traditions or things that you do? What are some of your intentions or wishes for the new year?
Well, a big tradition for us is to, we say, meet New Year. It's a lot of, like, big table of, help me describe our New Year, please.
So in Russia, the biggest holiday of the year is New Year.
Oh, okay.
And it's basically like Christmas here, but it's the New Year. So we have a tree, we have a guy who's like Santa. So it happened. So during communist times, people had Christmas and they didn't want any religion in the state. So they basically moved Christmas
to New Year.
Okay. To make it a secular holiday. And we still, in Russia, people still celebrate that as the main holiday.
In a big, big way they celebrate. Yeah, and we still do it here, kind of.
Yeah.
We like to keep that
tradition
it's very festive.
Going.
It's a lot of Russian foods.
Food.
What is Russian food really like?
Dumplings.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Crepes.
Yeah.
Dumplings, crepes. Blini. They call it blini, but yeah.
Potatoes, salads. Just like comfort foods.
Yeah, sounds lovely. What are some of your intentions or things that you're wanting to manifest in 2018? How are you challenging yourselves, or what are you doing that you're afraid of next year?
Well, to me, we're going to be doing a lot of book promo events. I need to do a lot of public speaking, cooking in front of people, which is very challenging for me. So it's the biggest challenge. And I also want to move into some more advanced meditation. I really like to visit Sadhguru Center in Tennessee and learn to do more of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think for me it's just, getting ahead. How should I say? Just advancing my career, trying to make the blog better. Just really doing what I like, but also, making that a sustainable thing for me in life. Basically.
Yeah. What's your favorite part of your life right now?
Essential oils. Yeah.
Whatever I've been smelling for the last hour and whatever is really going down easy. So that's a beautiful diffuser. What are some of your favorite oils or ways to use them?
I love lemon, Italian lemon. I make like countertop spray.
Oh, cool.
With that. And I also
cleaning that beautiful kitchen of yours.
Yeah. Vetiver is the oil that I found lately. And I made the furniture, the polish for furniture. And it's really amazing smell, very lush and woodsy. I don't know how to describe it, but it's really woodsy. Addictive. It's really comforting, and I use that a lot. And I use essential oils everywhere, like from aromatherapy to skincare products. I make my own creams and polisher, like I said, and cleaners. Yeah, everything. So that's my favorite part now. I'm very excited about essential oils.
Yeah.
They really work.
Yeah.
They calm you down and can heal.
Yeah. Cool. Masha?
I'm really excited about a moon phase calendar that my boyfriend and I designed, and we got it screen printed. It's right behind you.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Thank you. And we're selling them. We made a website and we're selling them. So it's our friends in Providence actually own a screen printing shop. So they screen printed them by hand, and it was just a really fun project.
Oh, they're beautiful. I'm going to link to that in the show notes, and I'm going to buy one.
Thank you.
I love that. Cool. Well, the name of this podcast is Let It Out. So when I offer that to you, is there anything you wish that I would have asked you that you don't get to talk about? Do you feel like I wrung you dry for all of the wisdom that you have today? Anything that you still want to let out?
What did we cover?
I think more what Mom was saying about essential oils and how she makes her own lotions and things like that. We're actually thinking about putting some of those recipes on the blog.
Cool.
And, putting that more into self-care category. So we've been working on a deodorant recipe. We have a moisturizer that we really like. So we're trying to gauge if people would be interested in that.
It's like cacao orange.
Moisturizer.
Raw cacao blood orange.
Yeah,
I have a funny story. You don't know that. Ernie, my husband, he used to have all kinds of fun things in the refrigerator. And it looks like a whipped cacao butter, and it smells amazing, like so delicious. And he thought that it's some kind of mousse that I made, and he actually put it on toast and ate it. And it's totally edible.
What's in it?
It's cacao butter, it's coconut oil, all kinds of
so
really
I guess
amazing
it's fine.
oils. It's fine.
Shea butter, right?
No shea butter.
Oh, that's good for Ernie.
That's so funny. It's good that he didn't get sick.
So it was really you can, because it's really nice ingredients. You can totally eat it.
Well, you heard it here. These things are so healthy for your body that you can eat them, which I guess is everything we put on our skin should be like that, because it absorbs just like if you're eating it. But wow, well, I'm glad Ernie's okay. Cool. Well, we did it. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for doing this. Okay, that was my episode with Anya and Masha. I hope you enjoy it, and you check out their cookbook and their website and their interviews. I really love their interviews about self-care and routines, and they've actually had last week's guest, Lacey, on as one of their interviewees, so we'll link to that. And it's funny, the emoji last week was the dove, which is the meaning behind the name of their blog, and we can't use the dove again because actually it wasn't even last week, or like less than a week ago, whenever that was. The last one was a dove. So for this one, we will use the strawberry. I don't know if we've used the strawberry before, but I love strawberries, and I'm guessing that Anya and Masha do too. So tweet at them and comment on their Instagram, the strawberry. Follow me and do the same thing. I'm at Katie Dalebout. Join the listener Facebook group. It's a great way to connect with other people listening to the podcast, talking about all sorts of things, whatever we have on our minds and we want to let out, we can do it in there. I hope that you go back if you're new and listen to the archive. There's over 200 episodes, and every week there's a new episode coming out. There'll be a new one next week. I love you. I'll talk to you then. Bye. Today's episode is brought to you in part by FreshBooks.com. You know FreshBooks. You love FreshBooks. If you've been listening for a while, you know that I use FreshBooks. I love it. It's the easy-to-use online cloud accounting software. You can personalize the colors, and you can even add your logo. It's great for sending invoices. It really makes you look buttoned up, and it's great for tax season. You can even set up FreshBooks to import expenses directly from your bank account, so whenever you purchase something for your business, it instantly uploads it to FreshBooks. I love it, and FreshBooks is ridiculously easy to set up. It's made for people who don't like dealing with numbers and their taxes. Right now, FreshBooks is offering a free 30-day unrestricted trial to our listeners. So to claim it, just go to freshbooks.com/letitout and enter "let it out" in the "How did you hear about us" section. That's freshbooks.com/letitout and enter "let it out" in the "How did you hear about us" section. Thank you, FreshBooks. Do you guys know about the brand Third Love? They make bras and underwear designed for the modern woman. When it comes to bra shopping, it's all about finding the right fit for you. And there's only one lingerie brand that offers bras in sizes AA through G and half cup sizes. And of course, that brand is Third Love. They use thousands of real women's measurements to create bras that fit, look, and feel great. To find the bra that you've been waiting for, all you need to do is go to Third Love's website and take their Fit Finder quiz that takes about 60 seconds. And from the comfort of your own home, you can find the bra that's best for you. I hate dressing rooms, and with Third Love, you can try on bras from the comfort of your own home, and returns and exchanges are always free and easy. This year, make the change that will make you change the way you think about bras. Go to thirdlove.com/letitout to find the perfect fitting bra and get 15% off your first purchase. That's thirdlove.com/letitout for 15% off. Thank you, Third Love. The music you're hearing behind me now and all other original music in this episode is composed by Carolyn Pennypacker Riggs. The album art is by artist Zoe Harmon, and this podcast is produced and edited by Amanda Sharf and hosted by me, Katie Dalebout. Check out our website for show notes to everything mentioned.